Hey Pancakers, today we are back with another Terraria episode. A Terraria Survival Guide episode. We're gonna get ready for the, not Brain of Cthulhu, Eye of Cthulhu today. And we'll probably just end up fighting it because I think we actually have everything for it. I said earlier that you aren't gonna have much of a difference between what you're using for the Eye of Cthulhu and for the King Slime. And that's about accurate. I'm going to be using the ninja stuff for basically everything. And how you summon him is you use suspicious looking eyes. And if you need to craft any of the summons, you should grab lenses. I believe it's 6 per. So I'll grab these two lenses and you go to that demon altar. Remember, the demon altar is the thing that spawns in the crimson that I showed you the other day. I'm going to be using a better staff than this emerald staff. And I forgot to get the trees. And of course, there's a slime. But yeah, I will be going to mine the trees and I'll be explaining kind of what each class wants. I actually just harvest the trees we need, which is the diamond trees, which are these ones. And yeah, we want diamonds. You also want platinum. If you have gold in your world, you want rubies. So I'll gather rubies too. Because I'm not sure if we'll have enough platinum. We got so many gem coins. Eventually we will probably end up selling gem coins, but for right now it's nice to just have them on us. Do we have enough platinum? We don't seem to, so we're going to be making a ruby one using gold and rubies. And this should have a decent amount higher damage output than emerald one. Sadly no reforge, but that's still fine. You can use something like platinum armor if you want defense, but I will just be using ninja armor that we got from our previous boss. Because again, you should all probably have it. If you need to gather lenses, what you can do is you can sleep until nighttime for the lenses. That's a good way to gather lenses. I'm going to be putting my emerald staff in magic, going to magic armor and grabbing my 2 pieces of magic armor, going to summon armor, grabbing my Fink's fur coat because that's what summoners want. And now for every class, you're going to want basically this getup. Depending on some of the items you've gotten, maybe you might want to have a different item for your class, but this should be about the same. I could use my Lucky Royal Gel here instead of my Guarding White String if I'm not planning to use yo-yos. I'll probably use yo-yos a bit for the fight because it is a good weapon for the fight. And we have the Hurtful Rally, which is a good weapon for it. I'll also grab javelins because at this point you've probably killed at least a couple of gladiators. If you haven't, you can also go out and get javelins via gladiators. Marble biomes aren't that difficult to find typically. And that's probably just going to be my spread. You probably aren't going to be wanting to use grenades, just use your normal bow for this typically. Flaming arrows. And one last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can make a watch. It doesn't seem like I can, but that's fine. I'm going to be starting off using my melee, which will be a Demonic Ice Blade, my yo-yo, and a boomerang. Now what you're going to want here is you're going to be wanting your white string in, and you're probably also going to be wanting your counterweight. And then you can sleep until it is 7:30 because that's when it's officially night. And now if you can't tell the exact time, you want to sleep until a few seconds after it says 7. And then go and run over here. I probably should have my ice skates equipped. I kind of need most of these. And seeing an evil presence watching you is actually meaning the boss is just going to summon itself, which is really nice. So I'll wait for it to summon itself and we will fight it. Since I'm doing melee first, I'm going to want these. Now, the red counter is definitely something you probably want equipped, but because of this arena, I want the ice skates. If you summon the Eye of Cthulhu, it won't spawn during the time it's supposed to spawn, which is a nice tip, and I'd recommend zooming out for the actual fight. And now Demon Eyes and stuff might get annoying while you're waiting for it to summon, but here it is, it has summoned. I'm going to be starting off just by using this. Now getting hit by a ton is not the best sign. But I was dealing with Demon Eyes, so I was in the best position for it. And now if you want to use Terraria, Terraria will just go like this. And the reason you might want to counter it is because it will be able to help deal with just the regular Demon Eyes. I hope we won't die during this fight. But yeah, you should be able to take care of it pretty quickly. I'd recommend, if you don't have a counterweight, not using a yo-yo during this. But you should be able to do kinda fine. Just make sure every so often you're focusing on the actual eyes, like those. Just so not too many of them spawn. When something like this happens, I'd heavily recommend either having a counterweight when it goes to this stage, or just using your Ice Blade, or whatever melee weapon you have. Because now it'll stop summoning them. But start doing these little dashy things. I also hate the zombies that just spawn on your track. And he will do that super dash. Make sure you're always moving one direction if you don't have very good sideways mobility. And by killing, this is the first boss you really want to kill, and by killing them, you get the Shield of Cthulhu. This is also part of the reason I want the Ninja Gear equipped, is because it allows you to outspeed this extremely easily, especially with all of our movement, with like ice skates and stuff, and Hermes boots. Now he's over here. And he'll start spamming his dash attack. When he starts spamming his dash attack, it might be better to start using something like the Ice Blade. Because like if you manage to hit him, it will do damage. But that's how you beat him using melee. And now let's just quickly show you how to get the things, and I'll sleep to the next night and start cutting out the time in between after I've shown you. I'm going to use the Royal Gel instead of the right string. The right string might actually be better in this case. Just because it adds a bit of defense to us. But we do need to go to this biome. Now, setting up a pylon by a demon altar can be a good thing to do. I just haven't done that. I see a face eater has fallen down here, so I'm going to have to kill it. The music down here is kind of a bop, though. Then I can go here and make suspicious eyes using 6 lenses apiece. And then I can teleport back to base, zoom in a bit more, and sleep until the next night, and I will see you then. This next night we'll be doing magic. The night after that we will be doing ranged, and the one after that we'll be doing summoner. So see you during those times. See you then. Hey Pancakes, welcome back. What I'm going to be doing now is using the magic set with my one magic weapon to take down the I have Cthulhu. Getting rid of this in my inventory. I see it can be summoned, and now I'm just gonna fight it. I forgot to zoom out, so that's somewhat of a problem. I have a pretty high crit rate right now, because I have a lucky item. And I'm trying to fire at him, along with getting the mana that his minions drop. And this is the damage class, so you should be taking down his health pretty quickly. And I'm saving some of these over here so I can be able to use them to restore my mana. I also have a high crit rate, which is nice. I think I'm going to try to preserve health rather than mana now, though. And then when he stops dashing, I'm going to dodge to the side. I ran out of mana. So I'm going to try to use a mana potion to just regain some mana and do more damage. Going in a straight line to try to be able to dodge this way now. And just like shoot at him when he starts dashing. And I might die here just because he does do a lot of damage. But I didn't, which is nice. We took him down by 10 p.m., which is better than before. But we did get a lot closer to death because magic is very much one of the frailest classes in the game. I look like a gypsy fox right now. Anyways, that's how you use magic to fight him. Then the next one will be ranged, and we're just going to be using the demonic bow for that. And then after that, we're going to be using summoner. And I'll be showing off what summoner's good at doing with him. I'm going to sort some of this random stuff into chests, and I will be back after it becomes night again, so I'll see you then. Welcome back, Pancakers. We're going to be using ranged this time. So I'm just getting all of the non-ranged items out. I also have javelins to show you what they do. Summoning the boss, and let's fight him now. He's coming from down here. So this is what javelins do. I always forget to zoom out. They actually have decent pierce, so you can try to target any of his like little eye dudes in front of him or behind him while you're shooting. And I'm probably going to be using these until his second stage, where I'm going to swap to my bow. Just because these have PS, so they're going to probably end up being better than the bow. Due to the fact that they can actually kill his little dudes. And now I shall use these until all of the little dudes are dead. I have a strong distaste for the ravens. Seems like all the little dudes are dead, so I'm going to start using a bow to try to do fire damage to him. Ow. I'm going to stand here until and hope he dashes some. This zombie is getting on my nerves. I'm going to run this way and use some of these to try to kill him. Now he's going to dash. I set him on fire. After you've killed him once, though, it becomes a lot easier to start dodging him because he actually drops a really good item that allows you to go in one direction and instantly activate your Hermes boots. And now we're doing fire to him. Let's run until he can't dash anymore, or can barely dash. Let's try to kill this zombie because they get in the way and cause problems. I understand why all the Plants and Plants vs. Zombies hate them now. You know, besides for the obvious fact that they try to eat brains. And I think I'm gonna end up dying, yeah, to the zombie. Well, Pancakers, that went really poorly just because of the zombies that were getting in the way. If you play in a group, it's probably gonna end up being easier. We should be able to attempt him again, though. Just be warned that zombies do just end up causing problems. You know, like this one. Or the raven up there. I'm gonna try to attempt him one more time. I don't have max HP right now. But what's the worst that can happen besides just dying again? I'm aiming for the small ones with these javelins because they have PS. And I'm gonna end up hitting him anyways. Also, I would love if he got hit by a star. Because if he gets hit by a star, he will take a ton of damage. I'm trying to focus at this point now, though. Just because of the fact that he did kill me last time, and I'm trying to stop that from happening again. Trying to kill as many of the small ones as possible. So running along this line, and then I think we killed all of the small. Oh, there's a demon eye now. If we stick over here, we should be fine. Besides with the obvious demon eye that's there. There's also now a raven. You can also switch between weapons. So after you do burn, you can switch to your javelin to try to take down any small enemies trying to take you down. One of the few good parts about the small enemies is just the fact that since they're so weak, sometimes you can just recover HP off of them. I'm going to probably end up going through the house. Or not. It seems like it can double back. Ow. Will I die to the demon eye? I'm just trying to keep away from him. I'm using just arrows at this point. Which can't burn, but they do a lot of damage. If I run in one direction, I might be able to dodge him for long enough to heal. NPCs will actually help damage him. And I took him down. Next one will be Summoner, which should hopefully be easier. But we will be losing our movement speed, so no bets there. Oh, and now we're using regular arrows too. I'm gonna go get some more flaming arrows and some other stuff like that. And I will see you at the next boss, and where we're gonna be using Summoner, so see you then. Hey Pancakers, welcome back. The last thing we have is the suspicious looking eye with the whip. And let's just go on. We have everything summoned. So let's see how well we can do against him. We already have taken a lot of damage. I'm going to try to be mostly avoiding the boss, because that's what someone is good at. Using this to just juke around a bit. And my flinks are kind of going to work on him. By the way, you will have to be using summons for the next few bosses. Summons and whips. If you dislike that, I'm not sure what to tell you. Summoner just is kind of whips, summons, and not anything that good. Just gonna be honest. Sorry to say, summoner people, but you do get you do actually get really good later on. Because you get better summons that can hit the boss. These summons just kind of can't hit this boss because it's airborne. So it's a survival, basically. Another good part about them, though, is they do just take care of the random enemies. I'm looking out where I'm headed, so I can make sure there's no zombies and stuff coming. I am having to take a hit every time, it seems, though. We are doing a decent chunk of damage every time there's a hecking zombie. I wasn't looking that time. Can I start running? I can. Okay, I'm going back this way now. Sorry for the incessant noise. I know it can get kind of annoying. I'm gonna stray from the battle arena and just keep heading to the left. There we go. Luckily we are using the summon outfit, so we do just have quite a few summons backing us up. Switching back to the normal armor now. Yeah, that was the boss. Hope you guys enjoyed. The weapons recap of the weapons we used were the Hit Ferrari, Leather or Hit Ferrari, Demonic Ice Blade, and you could use a boomerang for it too, but we used those for melee. Summoner used the Flinks for a coat, Leather Whip, and Flink Staff. Mage used the Mystic Robe, Wizard Half with the Ruby Staff. And ranged used a golden bow and javelins. We did die on range once because of all of just the other enemies. And we seem to have used about 400 javelins altogether. So I'm going to go deposit the stuff that we have on us into the chests. Magic armor is going in the magic chest. Summon is in the summon. My whip's gonna go into the summons as well as my ranged stuff and melee stuff going to their respective chests. And then we're gonna just go over what the eye drops. So we didn't get the Eye of Cthulhu trophy, but that's fine. The things that we're actually interested in that drops, first thing it drops the Eye of Cthulhu mask. I'm not gonna keep both of these. I will keep one, but I'll sell the other one. Then it also summons Crimtane, which is used for a ton of very good stuff. But then it's also gives Shields of Cthulhu. Actually gave us both Spiked Guarding and regular. I'm going to sell the regular ones. But basically what these do is give us another dash. Now I'm going to equip probably the Guarding one just for extra defense on every class. I'll de-equip the ice skates, and I'm going to be putting the ice skates into the movement accessories chest. I'm going to be putting this into the battle accessories. The crimson seeds are kind of just a miscellaneous item. And then we're also going to be going over everything Crimtane makes, because it makes a lot of stuff. Technically makes armor, but the next boss we're going to face will give us the Crimtane armor. But make some fishing rod and some other good gear. But yeah, the dash looks like this. As you're charging, you can easily just dash to the other direction and switch what direction you're running to. Then with Crimtane, you might have to kill the boss a couple times to get everything you want. I'm getting 76 bars. And it does make this axe. It's a pretty good axe, but makes the Blood Butcher, which will be needed for a future weapon along with just being a really good sword. This Blood Butcher isn't too much better than our current sword though. It makes the Artery, which is the best area you can get at this point. It makes a Tendon Bow, which is the best bow you can get at this point by a good margin. Or for this point you should be actually trying to get to. Technically we could be getting better whips, better yo-yos, some other things like that from the jungle. I would not recommend going to the jungle at this point. And it also makes the Flesh Catcher, which is a better fishing rod than our current one. So we'll be using this one. I'll be putting these away though. And I'm also not going to be using my Demonic Gladius anymore. Because in my opinion, the Tendon Butcher is just kind of better. It swings fairly quickly, it has a decently long range, and it's just a long sword. I'm just going to be putting these away now. I also have a tools chest, for anyone wondering. This is just going to have my miscellaneous tools. I'm glad I have extra Crimtane, but we won't. And you can use any extra Crimtane you have, by the way, to make better versions or try to get better versions of the ones you have. So I can go to, for example, my Blood Butcher. That's a shameful one. That's not very good. I got an annoying one, which is also not very good. And I got a regular one. None of those are very good. I'm just going to sell them. But they sell for a decent amount of money. I think they sell for actually less than the base bars sell for, by quite a bit less actually. If you want to keep them, you can shimmer them later on back to their base resources and try to like recraft them and stuff. But yeah, that's what you get from the Eye of Cthulhu. One thing I am going to say now is that in the next episode, we're actually going to be traversing the world, and I'm going to be explaining like the desert biome to you. Maybe you've already gone there. I consider it to generally be post I, but I can definitely see cases for why it's not post I. I was looking for that gnome. We found it, but we accidentally killed it because I just didn't have my summon deer equipped, so just be careful about that. But we will be exploring the world. I will be explaining a bit of the jungle. I will be talking about the ocean. We'll probably be making a jungle base, because after you fight the Eye of Cthulhu, a new NPC can spawn in called the Dryad, and she prefers the jungle, which is a perfect opportunity to make a jungle pylon. The one problem with the jungle pylon is just it's in the jungle, which I would consider to be harder than the Crimson by a not that big of a margin, but semi-big margin. We'll probably be headed in there either before we fight the Crimson boss or right after the Crimson boss. But I want to explain the desert, which I feel like is going to be before the Crimson first. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. I might do some mining off screen, might not do some mining off screen. We'll see how it goes. We might do the desert and then some mining off screen. Just depends on what we get from the desert. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Please like and subscribe if you like this type of content. Ring that bell notification to stay up to date with my most recent videos. We'll probably end up making this ping my subscribers if we get some subscribers from this. And yeah, just see you in the next one. And have a great day, Pancakers. Bye bye!